When schools went virtual because of COVID in 2020, South Bend schools deployed buses to offer free Wi-Fi to people in the city. And when high schoolers fell behind due to a year of virtual learning, the school district created after-school programs to help make up for that learning loss. School district CFO Karima Fowler says those programs and more were funded with COVID emergency relief money.
It was a huge shot in the arm for our district, so we're grateful for those funds because they are needed.
South Bend was allocated $94 million through 4 rounds of COVID emergency funds. The funds were allocated to local school districts based on a formula focused on supporting schools with the highest number of low-income families. Some of South Bend's funds were funneled to non-public schools and the empowerment zone. After that, school district leaders had to come up with ways to spend about $71 million.
It's not an open bucket of money that you can just spend on whatever you want.
While South Bend has a lot of needs, there are requirements that specify how school districts spend the money. 20% must be spent on addressing learning loss.
This was our strategy and how much we were spending in every single bucket.
School leaders say much of the money allocated to the district has either been spent or is earmarked to be spent. Nearly $30 million has been spent on accelerated learning, including after-school programming and community partnerships. The school district also spent $22 million on updating technology and infrastructure, including modernizing classrooms with new technology and upgrading HVAC systems and air filters. School leaders say these were major issues the district needed to address, but would likely never have had enough money to do them.
You can cross these things off the to-do list when you might not have ever crossed them off.
Absolutely, and they encouraged us to do that. They said, this 100% supports learning loss, but we also want you guys, because this is one-time funding, these things that take care of your clean air infrastructure, we want those addressed.
In Bremen, the school district received significantly less COVID emergency funding, but $1.5 million is still a lot for the small school district.
To me, throughout the course of this, I just wanted to get value for the money.
Superintendent Jim White is working right now to finalize choices for a major window project at the elementary school.
About 1.3 of it is being paid for by federal funds, but it's a project we would not be able to undertook readily without those funds.
The school district also opened an in-house alternative school to help kids who've fallen behind.
That's has been a really good experience for those students.
Money well spent?
Money well spent. It's money I would not have been able to spend otherwise, because it's a big chunk of change when you're talking about, we're committed 3 years right off the start for this instructor and the software. That's a lot of money that we probably would have prioritized elsewhere.
There is a deadline to use the funds, and most schools plan to use every penny before the final deadline.